Hey everyone, we are going to be talking about theme in fiction today. Now, probably the most common piece of advice is to write your story without a theme in mind when you do your first draft. I find myself agreeing with this and disagreeing with this. You'll have to decide for yourself. But they say to write your first draft without a theme in mind, and then if one presents itself, you can re-evoke it or add more of those thematical elements in it as you revise and as you edit. Now for me, I personally like going into my story with a theme in mind, at least even just a very general broad theme like family or friendship or love, forgiveness, honor. You can go into it with just a very basic idea, and this will kind of help you create those plot points and create that character development. And there's so many ways that you can introduce theme into your story. So listen up because we are going to dive right into it. I'm Karlie, and this is the Karlie and Brooke Show, where we interview top authors and bring you tips and tricks on writing so that you can become a successful author someday. Be sure to check out our Instagram accounts for daily tips on writing. All right, let's get into it. My first tip on theme is show both sides of your theme. So if your theme is about family, if your main character either has strong family ties or doesn't, just show the opposite of that. So let's say your main character has really strong family ties. They have a very close family. Have their best friend not have a close family. And then they can kind of compare. You can have your main character kind of compare their life to the friends, vice versa. It can come up in conversation. It can come up with decisions that they make. And that will just kind of show both sides of your theme because people are going to relate to it different. Some people have really strong family ties, some people don't. So it's good to show both sides, and that can be with love or honor or, like I said, anything. Friendship, show a character who has a best friend, show a character who has no friends, or show a character who had a best friend but got stabbed in the back by that character. And then the other character has the most loyal friend since the age of 2, right? So just showing those opposites really just gives it an extra layer and helps the reader connect to it in different ways. You can also have your villain or your antagonist represent the other side of your theme, and this is like a great way to really get it in the story strong. Now again, of course, you can't force any of these things. If you try to do it and it's just not working, don't worry about it. But this is just to give you some ideas of how you can enforce theme in your story. All right, let's talk about how you can add theme in your setting. Okay, so again, let's say your theme is about family. If your main character has that strong family ties, when you walk into their home, there's going to be pictures on the walls. There's going to be a lot of sentimental items on the shelves, whether it be like kid drawings or like little gifts that kids got the parents or grandchildren or whatever. It's just going to be a lot more of like sentimental items, very homey, and have that family vibe to it, right? Now, okay, so let's say you're going into a house of a character who does not have a strong family vibe. Well, you might find not as much pictures on the wall, or definitely not as many more sentimental items. It might be more of like your stock furniture from IKEA, from Walmart, from wherever this person shops, but it'll just have more of a, I don't want to say colder feel to it, but it just won't have that as homey feel to it. And this is just an example. This is by no means the truth. I can't speak for anyone who has stronger, not family ties, but this is just an example that popped in my head. And you can also use these same techniques with creating your mood and your tone, and that'll just be done through your descriptions. What kind of mood you want the reader to have, like when they walk into this setting. And you can also use the same technique with your character arc. Let's say your theme is about loyalty and honor. Okay, so your main character has those attributes. They're very loyal, they have honor, and at one point in the book, they are faced with the decision that they might have to be a little selfish. Maybe they turn their back on a friend or a family member, whatever, or they just do something against their moral, they have a moral dilemma, right? And so this can affect their character arc. They can feel shame, they can feel guilt. It could give them internal conflict, which is always a bonus. Anytime you can have internal conflict, always add it in because it really drives the story forward. So having that moment of weakness with the theme and their character arc will also help invoke it in your story. So with all of these, don't restrict yourself or make writing miserable trying to add these theme elements into your book. It should come natural. Like if you are writing a scene and it just comes to you, that's when you can add it in. But I'm not saying go through and like look for all these areas that you can add these I can't say that. Add these theme elements to your story. And again, I like to go with a theme in mind when I first write, but I've heard a lot of authors and a lot of writers say to go into it without a theme in mind and just let it come to you. And you don't have to be stuck with just one theme. You can have multiple themes in your story. Don't limit yourself, and remember, these are just tips and tricks. None of this is rules. You can use what works for you and leave the rest. Does your story have a theme? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And that is it for us today, so please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you'll be notified when our next video is up. It really helps us out a lot when you guys do that, so thank you so much. And Brooke and I post a writing video every Wednesday, and we'd love to have you on this author journey with us. Thanks everyone, bye-bye.